Sentry mode activated. Target acquired.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Today I'm going to do a short topic regarding the fire rate of guns in Monster Hunter World. Not going to dance around too much, so let's just get into it. Anyway, so in the past there have been talks about stuff on the PC versus console in terms of frame rate and how PC makes animation play out faster or finish faster or have less end lag due to high frame rate and so on and so on. And it never really went anywhere, and it didn't really matter to most people, which is understandable. Well, after a comment made on one of Sybil's videos regarding how fast he was shooting, we decided to dig around and see what we can, muster up. And what we found was that Glutton was indeed shooting quite fast. We compared it to some other runs done by Angbada, myself, and Tatsutafi, and noticed that we did have variable frame rate in pretty much all of our runs. Sometimes it was really fast, sometimes it was kind of slow, it just kind of went up and down. So after testing, we found out that there's a window that you need to hit to make the bullets come out faster. Seems obvious, right? You click as fast as you can, the bullets fire faster. Well, yeah, no. This is how it works. So when you fire, there's recoil based on the recoil of the gun, and once that recoil ends, you can fire again. Seems simple, right? Well, yes and no. If you misclick the few frames that it's first available, then you have to click again. The difference in speed of your clicks can be pretty significant, especially if you're not mashing it like crazy. It's even slower on consoles as the triggers take longer to press than a mouse key for sure, so you'll end up firing with the gap in there of however long it takes you to pull the trigger again. Maybe it's a quarter of a second, maybe it's less, but either way it will add up after every single shot. Look, I know this means something to like 90% of players, what's a few frames here and there, right? It doesn't even matter to me because spare shot RNG will trump all of this. But anyway, it's a thing, so let's continue. So after thinking about this a bit, we decided to test a macro to hit the shot when it would be first available and see how that would play out in Monster Hunter. Console controllers can easily have a turbo button to do this with any sort of controller mod, and PC, well, it's PC, so yeah, you have macros. So anyway, with the macro button on the console, I did notice that it gave us a slightly faster fire rate compared to just manually pressing the trigger myself. Seems pretty obvious. But there were some hiccups during extensive testing, which I don't really know why. The macro should easily hit all the openings on paper. It's not like there's any variable on the opening. So we moved to PC and tried testing it on that. And at first it looked like PC was just slightly faster than console, and I'm talking like 20 frames to finish a clip. It's not even half a second, slightly faster. But that didn't make any sense because we're still using the same fire rate. But then we got to thinking, frame rate. We talked about this long ago and I had forgotten. So the PS4 Pro that I'm running at is about 45-50 frames. It's not 60, but it's pretty high. PC was running at 60 frames. So I dropped the PC frames down to 30 and wow, it tanked hard. The macro should still easily hit the openings, but it just couldn't. It was slow, like even slower than me manually playing on console. It was laughable. So I put that one away. Then we uncapped frames and dropped the graphics to run at about 120 frames, which is what VSync enabled, and this was a huge spike in fire rate. Like, it was on point. The comparison between manually shooting on a PS4 and doing it like this on a PC is significant. Again, it may not seem like much when you look at it, or even functionality may not be much better, especially to most people in most situations, because you don't want to just sit there and fire your whole clip. I'm just saying, it's a thing. So we tried this again with VSync disabled, and we're running around 160 to 200 frames. And while we had similar results, it did have a few hiccups and fell behind the 120 frame benchmark though. And again, I'm not really sure why, but it did this several times. I'm not sure what to make about that, but it just kind of stopped working here and there. I mean, not like, missing a whole shot, but like the shot just came out slightly later. So anyway, frame rate indirectly affects your fire rate. And this can be applied to other weapons, as we have seen before from like Delbuster and Angbada's videos, and some other runners had made some videos describing this a little while back earlier. So anyway, this is just a heads up on some tests that we're running. PC frame rate uncapped can net you some better windows to input commands, it seems. It's definitely faster than playing on a console though, so I mean, it's got an advantage there. Thankfully, I'm pretty much done doing runs on PC version of Monster Hunter World. I mean, I just have to do one more bow run and I'm pretty much done playing. So we'll have to see how this plays out when Iceborne comes back out on PC. And also, I do know playing with macros and shot time stuff like that is cheating. It's tool assistance, I get it. I'm not using this to do runs or play games. It was purely for educational purposes, and kind of why we went about this at the end of World's lifespan, because it just doesn't really matter at this point. It is what it is. So that's all for me. Thank you all for watching, and good luck out there, hunters. And whenever you